Hello, today I'm going to explain to you how I made the simple kingdom management system where the user has the option to add, update, query, and delete knights in the kingdom. Okay, so I'll start off my code with 3 include statements. The first bit of code includes the Splashkit header file, and I've also added 2 standard libraries, which is string and the vector. So this code is using the string and vector classes from the C++ standard library. It is specifying that they belong to the std namespace. So this is an enumeration in C++, and I've named it tool type. It has 4 possible values: hammer, screwdriver, compass, shovel, and it's used to represent the different types that the knight can choose from later on, or the user can choose from. Okay, so this is a struct. This code defines a structure called knight data. It contains information about a knight, including their name, their age, month of birth, nationality, and it also uses the vector tool type, representing the tools that the knight has. Okay, so this is a definition of the kingdom struct. It has 2 variables, string name, and it also has vector of knight data struct representing the knights that it belongs to. So this is the enum knight update option. So this is an enumeration that defines the different options for updating a knight's information. And the options are update name, update age, update birth month, update nationality, update tools, and the finish update. So this is the function that prompts the user to input a string by displaying a message, and then it asks the user to enter a string. Once the user has entered the string, the function returns the string type, read line. So these are 2 functions for reading user input. Read string, so it takes in the string argument as a prompt, and then it displays it using the write function, and then it reads a line of user input using the read line function, and then it returns the user input as a string. The read integer takes a string as the prompt, it displays it using the write. It does all that, and then the user input is converted to an integer using the convert to integer function, and then it's returned. The next thing, so this is a function named read knight. It prompts the user to enter the information for the knight data struct, then creates and returns a new data struct with the entered information. The function does a few things. So it initializes the knight data struct. It names it result, and then it calls the read string function to prompt the user to enter the name, and it stores it as read or result.name. Then the next thing it does is it calls the read integer function. So this prompts the user to enter the knight's age, and then stores return integer as result.age. The next thing calls the read string function to prompt the user to enter a month of birth. Then the user then stores the return string in result.month _of birth. And this does the read string function to prompt the user to enter a nationality, and stores the return string in result.nationality. And then it returns the result. So then the next thing is the void write knight. So displays the knight's personal details. It writes the line using knights.name. It writes the age, converts it to a string. Then for the birth month, it writes birth month. Then it prints the birth month. It writes nationality and it prints the nationality. And it also displays the knight's tools using the write line. So it prints tools, and then for the tool type, and then it'll search for the knight.tools, and the tools in there it'll show. So it could be hammer, screwdriver, compass, shovel, or default, which is just nothing. Okay, so void add tool. So this function allows the user to select a tool from the list of options, and then it adds the selected tool to the list of tools. So the function displays a list of tools, and then it prompts the user to select an option from case 1 to case 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The user's choice is read using the read integer from before, and then it reads the function using a switch statement to convert the user's choice to the tool type. And if the tool is valid, then the function adds the tool type value to the knight's list of tools using the pushback method. If it's invalid, it will display the default, which is write line invalid choice, no tool added. Yep. So the next bit, knight update option. So this function displays the menu update options and reads the user's input to determine which option they have selected. It returns and corresponds to knight update option value. So yeah. Okay, so this is a big one. So this code defines a function update knight that takes the reference from the knight data struct and allows the user to update the info on the data. So it uses a do while loop to repeatedly display the menu of options until the user chooses to finish updating the knight. So inside the loop, the function reads the user's selected option by calling read knight update option. So this returns a knight update option as an enumeration value. Based on the selected option, the function updates the corresponding value of the knight data struct using functions like read string or read integer. If the selected option is update tools here, then the function calls the add tools function to allow the user to add a new tool to the knight's vectors of tools. And if finish update is selected, then the loop ends and the function returns. But if the selected option is invalid, the function displays an error message, which is please select a valid option. Cool. So void add knight. So this function adds a new knight to the kingdom. It first reads the information for the knight using read knight function. Then it reads the new knight to the knight vector in the kingdom struct using the pushback function. Yeah. So the void write kingdom. So this function, it takes a constant to a kingdom data object and writes out the name of the kingdom. Then it loops. Then it uses the for loop that goes through each knight in the kingdom's list and calls write knight function to output the info, and then it writes those write lines to separate. So the next bit is the read kingdom data function. So that takes in the user input for the name of a kingdom, returns a kingdom data structure with the name field in it. Okay, so the next bit. So this function allows the user to select a knight from the user by displaying a list of all knight. The user is prompted to enter the index of the knight they want to select, and the user returns the index if it is valid, or -1 if it's not. The user of the function can use the index to access the knight. Okay, so void delete tools. This function takes a reference to knight data object and an integer index, which is the tool that the user wants to remove, and then it checks if the index is within the range. So if it is, it swaps a tool at the index that the user chooses, and it will swap it with the last tool in the list, and then it removes the last tool from the list using the vectors pullback method. This deletes the tool at the given index from the knight's list of tools. Yep. Okay, so the next thing is, this is a function that the user to select from a list of tools belonging to a given knight. So if the knight has no tools, it will print -1. If the knight has tools, it will print a numbered list of the tools, and it will ask the user to index the tool that they want to delete. But if the user enters a invalid index, which is below 0, or it's greater than 4, then it will return a -1 too. And if it's not, it will return the index of the selected tool. So void query knight. This function prompts the user to select a knight from a given kingdom using the select knight function. Once the user has selected a knight, the function uses the right knight to display the details of the knight they chose. Okay, so void delete knight. This function deletes a knight from the kingdom data vector by swapping the knight at the specified index with the last knight in the vector, and then removing the last element. Okay, so the update kingdom function. So this displays a menu of the options for updating the kingdom's knights and tools, and it keeps on going until the exit menu is chosen. Okay, so, and the options are add knight. So that calls the add knight function and allows users to add a new knight. Query knight, which is calls the function to display the details of the knight. Update knight prompts the user to select a knight. Delete knight prompts the user to delete a knight using the delete knight. And then the add a tool or delete tool. So if the user selects add, then the user can add a tool. However, if the user types delete, then the user will have to delete the tool by the index. So the main knight data. So this all just prints all the functions I have. So it prints the 3 knights. So it will ask for the nationality, the age, the name, stuff like that. It will write the kingdom. Then this bit deletes the index of the first knight. It also prints about to delete. And then this updates the kingdom, and when it ends, it'll write end, and it'll return a 0. So that's my program. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.